हेलो स्टूडेंट्स, कैसे हो आप सब लोग। जो मेरा टॉपिक यूनिट 11 अल्कोहल्स, फिनॉल्स और ईथर में जो चल रहा है, एट प्रेजेंटली वी आर एट प्रिपरेशंस ऑफ ईथर्स. सो इन लास्ट सेशंस वी completed one method of the preparations of ethers from alcohol. But the drawback of this method, when we prepared ether from alcohol, so limitations is like that. This method is generally not suitable for the preparations of unsymmetrical ethers. Then number two, the method for the preparations of ether is suitable only for the industries because reactions conditions must be carefully controlled. So as such, in last Sessions method is of a little practical value in the laboratory. ये हमने सब कुछ देखा था हमारे अगले सेशन में. अभी हम विलियमसन सिंथेसिस प्रोसेस इज अ वेरी गुड प्रोसेस और वेरी गुड मेथड टू प्रिपेयर अ ईथर, राइट? So once again, this Williamson synthesis process is an important laboratory method for the preparations of symmetric as well as unsymmetrical ether. वो जो उसका ड्रॉबैक था हमारी अगली मेथड का, वो दोनों ड्रॉबैक ये विलियमसन सिंथेसिस में उसने निकाल दिए है. विलियमसन सिंथेसिस प्रोसेस से हम सिमेट्रिक एज वेल एज असिमेट्रिक दोनों ईथर हम बना सकते हैं. और दूसरा इसमें जो लेबोरेटरी स्केल में वो अगली मेथड में क्या था कि हमें जो टेम्परेचर कंडीशन है उसको क्रिटिकली उसको हमें मैनेज करना पड़ता था, लेकिन यहाँ पे ये कोई प्रॉब्लम या कोई दिक्कत यहाँ पे दिखाई नहीं दे रही है. सो दिस इज important laboratory method for the preparations of symmetrical as well as unsymmetrical ethers. So once again, this is the one of the best method for the preparations of ether. In this method, which can be used for the preparations of both symmetrical as well as asymmetrical ether. So what can we do in this method? So for this purpose, it involves the treatment of an alkyl halide with a suitable sodium alkoxide. So first we have to prepare a sodium alkoxide with the help of when we know that alcohol is little bit acidic in nature, so it's react with active metals like sodium. So we get a product is sodium alkoxide. As we know that this sodium alkoxide is a very good, or it's a very good Lewis base, right? Because RO minus is a very good Lewis base, or sometimes it's called a nucleophile too. So the role of RO minus as a base or as well as nucleophile. If this RO minus जो हम दिखा रहे हैं RO minus वो बेस की तरह से भी बिहेव कर रहा है और न्यूक्लियोफाइल से भी बिहेव कर रहा है. अगर वो न्यूक्लियोफाइल से बिहेव कर रहा है तो वो न्यूक्लियोफिलिक सब्स्टिट्यूशन रिएक्शन में चला जाएगा, लेकिन अगर स्ट्रॉन्ग बेस की तरह से जो वर्क करेगा तो वो इलिमिनेशन रिएक्शंस की तरफ उसका रुख है वो हो जाएगा. तो हम क्या सोच रहे हैं कि इन द केस ऑफ सोडियम अल्कोक्साइड, सो व्हेन दिस सोडियम अल्कोक्साइड इट्स रिएक्ट्स विथ अल्काइल हैलाइड, बिकॉज इट्स अ टॉपिक ऑफ अल्काइल हैलाइड. हियर वी नो दैट C delta plus and X delta minus, so it's a very good nucleophile, and this nucleophile attack towards to this R, and by the means of SN2 reactions, and we get a ether and NX. So it's a common equations. Main equation is like that, but first we have to prepare a sodium alkoxide. So once again, it involves the treatment of an alkyl halide with a suitable whatever the sodium alkoxide. The sodium alkoxide needed for this purpose is firstly prepared by the action of sodium on a suitable alcohol. So this reaction in fact involves it's a one type of nucleophilic displacement reactions of the halide ion from the alkyl halide by the alkoxide ion, and which can be governed by SN2 mechanism. And this method is we know that some examples of this method. So first, okay, fine, mind well, first we have to take a primary halide. Primary alkyl halide is our compulsory conditions. So in the case of CH3CH2Br, when it's react with a CH3CH2ONA, it's a sodium ethoxide, right? It's a primary, so definitely it's gone through by SN2 mechanism, and this CH3CH2O minus is a displacement reactions. NaBr is removed, and we get a product is a symmetric ether. It's called as an diethyl ether. It's called as an diethyl ether, or sometimes it's called as an ethoxyethane 2. अगर हम इसमें क्या कर रहे हैं, इसमें प्राइमरी कंडीशंस हमारी क्या है, ये जो हम हेलो अल्केन ले रहे हैं वो प्राइमरी होना चाहिए. अगर हम सेकेंडरी या टर्शरी की तरफ जा सकते हैं, लेकिन इसमें दिक्कत क्या आ रही है कि जैसे हम सेकेंडरी या टर्शरी में चले जाएंगे तो ये जो मेरा न्यूक्लियोफाइल है वो दोनों तरफ से एक्ट करना शुरू कर देगा, वो इलिमिनेशन में भी चला जाएगा और सेकेंडरी और टर्शरी में थोड़ा क्राउडिंग इफेक्ट की वजह से वो क्या होता है कि बाहर से ही वो एच है प्रोटॉन ये इसका हेलो अल्केन का वो निकाल के इलिमिनेशन की तरफ चला जाएगा। तो ये हमें इसका जो विलियमसन सिंथेसिस का जो मेन कॉन्सेप्ट है, कोर कॉन्सेप्ट है, यही है कि इफ वी टेक दिस इज टर्शरी ब्यूटाइल अल्कोक्साइड, राइट, दिस इज सोडियम टर्शरी ब्यूटॉक्साइड, कोई दिक्कत नहीं है हमें क्योंकि ये प्राइमरी है CA3Br, सो इट्स गवर्न्ड बाय SN2 mechanism and we get such a type of a product is tertiary butyl, this is tertiary butyl methyl ether, okay। ये हम जो रिएक्शंस हम देख रहे हैं वो अल्काइल एराइल ईथर जैसे हम बता रहे हैं, अल्काइल एराइल ईथर मींस फिनोलिक ईथर which is also easily prepared by treating the sodium phenoxide. The name of this particularly compound is sodium phenoxide. If sodium phenoxide is reacts with a suitable alkyl halides like methyl bromide or ethyl iodide, मैंने 3 अलग अलग आपके पास वो डाला हुआ है, मिथाइल ब्रोमाइड लिया हुआ है, इथाइल आयोडाइड लिया हुआ है और ये थोड़ा मैंने एलाइल का भी वो जो हम देख रहे हैं ये एलाइल ब्रोमाइड है, सो मैंने एलाइल ब्रोमाइड में भी डाला हुआ है। So no problem if this sodium phenoxide is a very good nucleophile is attacked towards to the partially positive carbon and the displacement of bromine with a Na and we get a product is called as a methoxybenzene or sometimes is called as a methyl phenyl ether and one name is NE-sol, okay। So there is a removal of NaBr. Here in this case NaBr is removed. Same way in the case of ethyl iodide the same scenario because all are primary in nature, so they pass through the SN2 mechanism and we get here the product is phenitol or ethoxybenzene. Once this is allyl bromide. This allyl bromide because bromine containing carbon is sp3 in nature and this sp3 is connected with 1, so it's a primary allyl bromide. No problem, primary allyl bromide is also reacts with the sodium phenoxide and with the help of this SN2 mechanism it gives a ortho allyl phenyl ether. But however this ether is cannot be prepared by treating bromobenzene with the sodium salts of sodium methoxide, okay, or sodium ethoxide or sodium allyl alkoxide, because why it's not possible? Because this is due to the reason that in the case of aryl halides are much less reactive than alkyl halides towards to the nucleophilic substitution reactions. The same reason that we have to understand in our prior lesson. In the case of this bromobenzene, 5 canonical structure, out of 5 canonical structure or resonating structure, 3 structure having a partially double bond characteristics and this carbon is sp2 in nature, so percentage of S is increasing. It means that the reactions in the case of haloarine is too difficult to handle, so it's so we cannot Williamson synthesis is not for these haloarine compounds. Now, what are the limitations that we have to observe in this case too? So, once again, Williamson synthesis, we know that it's a very versatile method for the synthesis of both symmetrical and unsymmetrical ether. But however, for the synthesis of unsymmetrical ethers, a proper choice of reactant is mandatory or is necessary. Because Williamson synthesis occurs by SN2 mechanism and primary alkyl halides are the most reactive in SN2. So therefore, best yield of unsymmetric ethers are obtained when the alkyl halides are primary in nature. However, the alkoxide may be either primary, secondary or tertiary in nature. For example, in this case, our haloalkane is tertiary in nature, right? This is tertiary in nature. When it reacts with a sodium ethoxide, mind well, here haloalkane is tertiary in nature. So, lots of crowding effect that we have to observe in this case. So, at that time, your C2H5O minus is attracted towards to the acidic hydrogen or beta hydrogen and it's converted into eliminations process. So, this ether, this type of ether is not prepared. Okay, once again, I want to prepare CH3. This is sodium ethoxide, and so at that time eliminations reactions and we get a 2-methyl propene is our product. Okay, fine. So this due to steric hindrance, our secondary alkyl halide is also preferred to undergo eliminations rather than substitutions because they gives a both type of mixture. This is by the eliminations method and this is by the method with the help of this nucleophilic substitutions reaction. So 79% yield from eliminations and 21% from the nucleophilic substitutions reactions. So secondary and tertiary alkyl halides prefer to undergo eliminations rather than substitutions reactions. Even symmetrical ethers containing secondary and tertiary alkyl groups can't be prepared in the Gould yield by Williamson synthesis process. So we cannot, so in a very deep manner, so we cannot get a diisopropyl ether with the help of this Williamson synthesis process. Right? Further, this method cannot be used for the preparing of diaryl ethers because we know that in the case of bromobenzene and sodium phenoxide, they do not react with each other, so cannot they form a diphenyl ether. So this is all about the Williamson synthesis process. I think so you have a better idea about the Williamson synthesis process. Okay, now another point. After the preparations of this ether, now we move to the another portion is the physical properties of ether. So now we talk about the physical properties of ether. Okay, so in this title, first we have to focus about the physical state. What about the physical state? Because when जब हम फिजिकल प्रॉपर्टीज की बात करते हैं तो हमारा जो मेन पॉइंट होता है वो क्या होता है, जैसे बॉइलिंग पॉइंट है, मेल्टिंग पॉइंट है, उसका सॉल्युबिलिटी का रीजन है, फिर थोड़ा हम जैसे एक्स्ट्रा पॉइंट्स में हम दिखा रहे हैं कि इसका फिजिकल स्टेट क्या होता है, कलर क्या होता है, ऑर्डर क्या होता है, डेंसिटी क्या होता है, अगर डाइपोल नेचर है तो क्या होता है, तो ये हम सभी इसमें डालना चाहते हैं. फिजिकल स्टेट है, कलर एंड ऑर्डर. ओके, सो dimethyl ether, this is dimethyl ether, CH3OCH3, and ethyl methyl ether means CH3O CH2CH3. They all are gases at ordinary temperature. Okay, while the other lower homologous of ethers are colorless liquid or colorless liquids with a characteristics or sometimes it's called as an ether smell. The name itself is called as an ether smell. वो ether जैसी smell दिखा रहा है क्योंकि ये ether की identity है. Number 2, what about the boiling points? Because we know that ether are isomeric. Ethers are isomeric with what? With monohydric alcohols. Ether और अल्कोहल में दोनों क्या है, एक दूसरे के आइसोमर्स है. So the boiling points are much lower than those of the isomeric alcohol. जैसे ईथर है तो उसका बॉइलिंग पॉइंट रिस्पेक्टिव उसका जो आइसोमर्स है मोनोहाइड्रिक अल्कोहल उससे बहुत ज्यादा कम हो रहा है. इसका रीजन क्या है मेन? सो इन द केस ऑफ अल्कोहल्स, राइट, सो एज अ रिजल्ट ethers do not show a molecular associations, hence have a lower boiling points than the corresponding alcohols. Due to weak dipole interactions, the boiling points of lower ether such as dimethyl ether, ethyl methyl ether are only slightly higher than those of the normal alkanes. जैसे हम इसको इस तरह से हम दिखा सकते हैं, जैसे मेरे पास है CH3O CH3 है, दूसरा मेरे पास है CH3O C2H5 है, तीसरा मैं बता रहा हूं आपके पास C2H5O C2H5 है, जैसे मैं और बता रहा हूं C2H5O C3H7 है, राइट. ये मेरा उसका कॉरस्पॉन्डिंग उसका मोलेकुलर मास, इसका कितना है मोलेकुलर मास, दिस इज मोलेकुलर मास. तो इसका मोलेकुलर मास है 46 है, नेक्स्ट वन का है 60, उसका है 74 और उसका है 88. तो जैसे इसका बॉइलिंग पॉइंट में आपको केल्विन में दिखा रहा हूँ, जैसा इसका 250 है, इसका 283 है, इसका 307.6 का है, इसका 336.6 है। हमने क्या किया, जैसे इसका कंपैरिजन हम नॉर्मल अल्केन के साथ करना चाहते हैं। फॉर एग्जांपल इन द केस ऑफ प्रोपेन, प्रोपेन का इसका मोलिकुलर मास है 44। ये थोड़ा नजदीक है दोनों का, लेकिन इसका बॉइलिंग पॉइंट क्या होता है, तो 231 है, राइट। वाइल इन द केस ऑफ नॉर्मल ब्यूटेन, तो नॉर्मल ब्यूटेन का मोलिकुलर मास है 58, सो इट्स 273। सेम वे इन द केस ऑफ नॉर्मल पेंटेन, the molecular mass is 72 and we have an answer of 309.1. Same way, if we having a normal hexane, so in the case of normal hexane, 86 and 342. So we know that due to weak dipole-dipole interactions, right, the boiling points of lower ethers such as dimethyl ether, ethyl methyl ether are the only slightly higher than those of the normal alkanes. So normal alkanes having a comparable molecular mass. However, at the hydrocarbon part increase beyond 4 carbon atom, the boiling points of ether are even slightly lower than the normal alkane. So this is all about the boiling points reference. Then what about the solubility? Next point is the solubility. Okay. So ether containing up to 3 carbon atoms are soluble in water, and the solubility of low ether in water is compared to those of the corresponding alcohol. For example, like ethanol, dimethyl ether is completely miscible with the water. Because both diethyl ether and normal butyl alcohol are soluble in water almost the same extent, and the solubility of lower ether in water is due to the formation of hydrogen bond between, in the case of ether, so we draw the structure of ether like that, ROR. So same way they form a hydrogen bond, HOH. So here the same one, hydrogen bond, HOH. So they form a hydrogen bond. So the solubility of lower ethers in water is due to the formation of hydrogen bonds between water and ether molecule as salt. If the molecular masses is increasing, so solubility of ether in water is decreasing, because due to the corresponding increase in the hydrocarbon portion of the molecules, their solubility is decreasing. However, they are fairly soluble in common organic solvents such as alcohol, benzene, chloroform, acetone, etc. And all ethers are lighter than water. So this is the reference about the density viewpoint. So for these sessions we completed the physical properties of ether. In next sessions we starts with the chemical properties of ether. Thank you very much.